Welcome to another edition of Islanders Insider. I'm Stephen King, coming to you from the locker room once again. Today we're going to be joined by the head coach of Islanders volleyball, Tony Graystone, the head coach of Islanders soccer, Shana Caldwell, and also Islanders Insider correspondent Dixie Lee will give us a profile of Islanders assistant coach and, well, All-American Sara Pauly. That's all coming up a bit later. Right now, though, we are joined by the head coach of Islanders volleyball, Coach Tony Graystone. Coach.
Hey, good to be back.
Good to be back. Glad to have you.
Yeah.
And things are going well. Things are going well. I'm going to tell you. Last time we met, you had, we talked about all kinds of interesting things, how the season had been going on, but since then, you have probably faced one of the most grueling schedules since you've been here at the Island University. 6 games over an 8-day stretch, with only one of those coming at home. The interesting thing about that is you were successful, but I find it intriguing. Was that designed a little bit to maybe challenge the physical and kind of mental makeup of the team in this early stages of the season?
Definitely. A year ago, we had a good season, but the second half of conference, we faded. We just weren't the same team, and we went into the conference tournament not playing our best ball. And some of that was just the wear and tear of the season. We had some young players in key roles, and they weren't used to the grind of that long of a year. And so, we needed to change that. We needed to make sure that they were ready for it this year. So this is why we're on the road so much. This last week was tough. Physically, it was tough. And to have to play that many matches on the road in different places and do well, that's a tough challenge. But they were up for it. So I'm really pleased with them.
And as I briefly mentioned, the fact of the matter was you were a winner of 5 of those 6 games. Mm-hmm. Impressive, including the first 2 Southern Conference matches of the year. The last 4 contests you played, they were all 3-game sweeps.
Right.
Very impressive. Has a team of yours ever played that well over that stretch?
Probably not. We've had winning streaks like that, but not where we've just been dominating like we have been and sweeping everybody. So the offense right now is playing at a really high level. So we're able to outscore some people, and if we do make a mistake on the other end, we can make it up with a kill and wash it right out. So that's something that we hadn't really seen, is to be able to be that good offensively.
Every time I talk to you about this, you say offensively we've been very good. Mm-hmm. Which tells me that there are some holes that concern you a little bit.
Well, there's always something, and I'm going to keep talking about our block until
I'm
happy with, and so but if that's not our strength, but the other side of it is, then that makes up for it a lot.
Now, adjustments are necessary to be successful. Now, what adjustments in your roster and in your positioning do you feel that had made this team successful to this point? Have they paid off?
Yeah, what we did is just switch Brianna Brink and Ashley Phelps and just moved them in the lineup. And Ashley started the season on the right side and Bree was on the outside, and we just flipped them. And that's really been the trigger for this whole thing. Since we made that switch, the offense has just really blossomed, and everybody seems like they're in the right place now. So, Bree's always been an outside since she's been here. She's an all-conference player, but we've been looking for that offense left by Shannon Holland when she graduated a year ago, and we thought it would be Ashley, but really she just looks awkward out there. So we've moved her to her strong side, and Bree's been able to pick up the slack on the right side, and it's really been good.
Fortunately, Bree's got that flexibility to be able to go both ways.
Yeah.
I know, and it's a different swinging motion. Mm-hmm. Your timing is different. You're looking for the ball in a different place.
Yeah.
And you need someone to be able to adjust and step up.
Yeah, they're both right-handed, so being on the right side, that's their weak side. So not everybody's up for it. And Ashley can do it, but there's a huge difference between her on her strong side and on her weak side. And for whatever reason, Bree's been taking really good cuts on the right side.
Let me ask you this. If you were to list 5 components of the game that are necessary to make you successful, what would they be, and how is your team meeting the challenge of those components?
Well, the game is there's 5 basic skills, and you got to be able to do all of them. But for us, you score points with your serve, with your block, and with your offense by putting it down with the kill. And so, to be a balanced team, you need to be able to score all 3 ways. And so right now our offense is really doing the job. Our serving has been very good, and our block is a little bit behind. But since our offense has been so good, we're still scoring the same amount of points that we normally would. And so those things that's how you score points. And then the other side, you have to keep the other team from scoring points, right? So we got to be in system. We got to get our serve receive going and dig balls up. And that's where the girls that aren't the point scorers, the liberos and the back row players, they got to really do their job.
At UT Arlington during the tournament against Mississippi Valley State, you found some time to evaluate, look at a lot of different players, and in particular a freshman by the name of Morgan Carlson kind of stepped up for you on that day. It was just a good opportunity to get her a lot of moments in the rotation, and she steps up with 21 kills and 3 errors in that opportunity. I know she's only a freshman and still going to need to work into the regular rotation, but that had to be eye-opening and had to make you feel good about what's possibly down the road for you.
For sure. You know, when we lost Shannon a year ago, we said we got to get another left-handed girl, and that's where Morgan came in, and she's got all kinds of ability and just needs to be groomed a little bit. But Mississippi Valley was a good matchup for her, and she hit the same shot 21 times. They didn't adjust to it, and so those kills were pretty easy for her.
So you didn't need to get
there wasn't a lot
too
of coaching
complex
going
there.
on. No.
Just hit the ball right
That's
there.
right. That's right. But we got her in on Friday against Pan Am in the 3rd set, and she did a nice job. She had a couple of kills, and I think as the season moves along, we'll find some more opportunities for her.
Yeah, but freshmen, just have to bide their time.
That's right.
And take a lot of time learning.
That's right.
Learning the system, there's no doubt. Now, after the games have been played and everyone was tired, you still had one major event left when it's all said and done. You had a big event out on the beach. One of the blessings of being down here in Corpus Christi is the big beach event, the Islanders Beach Slam. Tell us about the event and was it successful?
Well, we did one in April, and that went over really well. And the way the schedule worked out, there just happened to be a hole in our schedule on a Saturday in September this year. So we decided we'd try another one. And the weather tried to kill the thing, but we got it in. It went really well. Everybody had a great time.
Big fundraising effort.
It was a fundraising effort for our booster club, and it just went really well. It's just good to see that many people that are interested in our team and want to contribute to us and have a good time along the way. So in Corpus, there's a really strong beach community, and we're trying to tap into those guys and get to know them a lot better and see them, support us. So we'll do it again in the spring, but this was a good one to do in the fall.
A little bit of a lighter load this week, though. Only 2 games. Both are conference meetings on the road. First trip to Huntsville to take on Sam Houston State, and then to Beaumont to face Lamar. Can you give us an initial scout of these 2?
Well, Sam has always been at the top of the conference. They're 3-0 right now, and they've been one of those programs that have given us fits since I've been here. We've got to be a lot more prepared for them. I know we always think about beating them, we want to beat them, but they're kind of that benchmark program that we're trying to get past. And so this year, we feel like this is the year to do it. But they still have the returning conference player of the year from a year ago, one of their outsides. They have a senior first team all-conference setter. They're still talented, but I know that we've made a lot of strides in the last year. So we're really looking forward to Thursday. We want to get up there and get a win, but it's going to be really tough to do. And then we'll follow up with Lamar, and Lamar's very athletic, pretty talented, just young, and so once we're really putting everything on Thursday for right now, and when we get past Thursday, we'll start looking more closely at Lamar.
Coach, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Tony Graystone, head coach of Islanders volleyball, joining us here in the locker room today. When we come back, we're going to check in with Dixie Lee as she features Islanders assistant softball coach Sara Pauly. That's coming up right here on Islanders Insider.
It's a pivotal year in Islanders basketball. Our teams have spent the summer training, preparing, and working on the foundation for the coming year. We are going to play with intensity, determination, and passion. We're ready to make a statement in the Southland Conference. Join us on our journey to the tournament. Islanders basketball season tickets are on sale now. Visit GoIslanders.com or call 825-BALL to purchase your tickets today.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, let's check in with Islanders correspondent Dixie Lee as she gives us a profile on Islanders assistant coach Sara Pauly.
There's no doubt that one of the biggest names on campus is none other than softball pitching coach Sara Pauly. The former pitcher for the Islanders was the school's first All-American and is one of the best pitchers in the sport's history.
A lot of people are very familiar with Coach Pauly, of course. I think she gives a lot of lessons around here to a lot of kids, and so they're very familiar with her, and they definitely come to games and like, oh, hey, Coach Pauly, they come to see us, but, the fact that she's on our coaching staff really helps out a lot.
Well, being back here coaching at my alma mater is, it's amazing. I've always wanted to be back here, and, just, being able to share the same experiences with my players that I was able to share here is fun. It's rewarding after all the hard work that I put through here at the college and in my career.
Coach Pauly's love for her alma mater is no secret, but it actually took some effort by head coach Stephanie Hughes to convince Pauly to come coach at the university.
It's actually a funny story. When I first got hired, somebody gave me her email address. So I sent her an email, hey, do you think you'd be interested in coming back to where you played and coaching? And at the time she was pitching professionally in Japan, and she actually turned me down. I had to do a little bit of begging and a little bit of convincing, and once her season was over with, she decided to go ahead and come back, and it's been kind of history since then.
I love being back here, being on the same stage that I was in with college ball, being able to, give back to the community that had supported me all my years of college.
The former collegiate All-American and current pro pitcher success has earned her a nickname from her team, the Legend.
It's nothing that I talk about, it's just who I am, how I was as a player, just me, when they joke about it, it's like, yeah, okay. Well, I did set many records here, and people look up to me here, but you don't need to call me the Legend.
Yeah, it started out just giving her a hard time. And, I think that the kids on our team, I really think that sometimes they take for granted the fact that, she really is one of the legends in our game. And that, like I said, I think some of our kids take that for granted. To look out, look in the NCAA stats, you're going to see her name. She's right there with Kat Osterman and Monica Abbott, who are, a little more recognizable because they played at bigger schools, but she's right there with them.
Being legendary isn't all fun and games for Pauly, as she teaches her players that it takes hard work and dedication when looking to the future.
Well, I've been here for 2 weeks, and the pitchers have really been going hard every day. Unfortunately, with the rain, we've been pitching in the gym, but I've already learned so much from her. I look forward to what she has to offer, and I know it's a lot.
And to break the records, to get themselves in the history books. The two girls that we do have will definitely be in the books. They're just that good. 4 years from now, I can't even imagine what they're going to look like.
For Islanders Insider, I'm Dixie Lee. We'll be right back.
It's that time of year again when all the conditioning and all the hard work pays off. It's time for the State Farm Southland Conference Mascot Challenge. Izzy's been putting in long hours getting ready, and he needs your help. Vote online via the Southland Conference Facebook page or by visiting tinyurl.com/mascot1314. The winning program gets $5,000. So vote every day. Go Islanders.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. A bit earlier, we met with head coach Tony Graystone of Islanders Volleyball. Right now, we talk with the head coach of Islanders Women's Soccer, Coach Shana Caldwell. Coach, how are you?
Pretty good this Monday.
Pretty good on a Monday? Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. We talked with Coach Caldwell. Last time we met, it was interesting. Everything was kind of exciting and new, but then you've had a lot of interesting stuff come up. You've taken your first big road trip. You headed out to North Carolina to the Wilmington tournament. Let me ask you about that in particular. It's a new program and your first really big cross-country road trip with your team. How did they respond to that trip as a team on the field, but also as a team off the field?
I think it was an exciting time. It's always tough when you have to go travel and you can't bring the whole squad. So that was a tough learning experience of narrowing down the roster to only be able to travel 18 kids. But also it was kind of neat and exciting. We had a first flight for a few kids, first time leaving the state for a couple.
Really?
So it was fun. The girls that got to sit next to Danny Gonzalez, so she had a little eye-opening experience as the plane took off. So
that's always kind of fun, but hey, part of the growth process. It comes with this experience as being a college athlete.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, off the field, the girls had a good time. we went down to downtown Wilmington, and they just got to kind of relax and hang out and see a different part of the country. And that's always a neat experience to watch their faces as they experience something new. And on the field, we had a not the results that we necessarily wanted, but gained some valuable experience, and we put together some good moments throughout the weekend. It's just it's coming along a little bit at a time.
After the trip, you came back home for 2, Southland Conference actually getting underway, and as you mentioned, not necessarily the results you were hoping for, but definitely the team continues to challenge and improve.
I think they do. I think each game we're working on getting the 2 halves put together, but I think you can see that we have a bite to us, we have an intensity to us, and it's just getting them to start that from the beginning whistle.
The Southland matchups you had this past week included Southeastern Louisiana and Nicholls State here at the Dugan Family Soccer and Track Stadium. Now, that's a tough lineup of opponents, plain and simple, to open up Southland Conference play. Between them, a combined record of 13-1-1 coming into the weekend. Now, you battled hard. 2 of the best teams, no doubt. A couple of 1-goal losses. 5 of the 7 losses this season have come by 1 goal. The team is this close.
We are. We're right there on the edge of turning the corner. I think it's a challenge for the coaching staff just to keep the girls' heads up and letting them know that 1 or 2 things go differently and that game is ours. But also for them to understand the importance of capitalizing on our opportunities early and creating more opportunities, and not just relying on Yvette to score goals, and defensively that we can't turn off. And I think we made some adjustments at halftime in both of those games, and we came back out and really took it to the other team and had the better play in the second half. But that first half slow start has kind of been our nemesis right now.
Numbers are important. Depth is important. How crucial is depth for you and your coaching strategy?
I mean, I think Friday's game more than Sunday's, you saw we had a lot of subs going in, just keeping the team fresh. And with this young of a team, there's going to be days that not everybody's on, and it's really a matter of who can step up and help out and lead. Even when they don't get on the field, the energy from the bench is huge and plays a large part. And just kind of trying to figure out who's playing well together, and who can go in and provide us a little bit of a spark off the bench. And I think we had that. Friday Haley came in off the bench. Hannah Joseph's been coming in. Sunday Chandler got some minutes for the first time, and I thought she did very good job out down the outside mid.
Yeah, I know that there were a couple injuries on Sunday in particular, and just someone's got to step up at that point.
Yeah,
extended minutes coming your way.
We kept the training staff pretty busy. Danny went down early with busted her head open. We were very thankful that the doctors were there, because otherwise we would have lost her for the whole game. She got instead of stitches, they glued her eyebrow back together, and she was able to play the whole second half with a nice shiner, but was very fortunate that we had the doctors there to do that. But in her absence, we made a little adjustment, and then Mariah, who went in, went down about 5 minutes later, so we lost two starting defenders early, and Jenna Kaya came in and played about 30 minutes at center back and did a good job. She secured it back there. So proud of the kids that are able to go in and play through the adversity.
Adversity comes with it, there's no doubt. And you mentioned Yvette Franco earlier. And again, we continue to marvel at her scoring prowess. We're very proud of what she's been able to accomplish here. But a consistent secondary scorer. I know that you're still working on that, and our defense is starting to adjust and really just attack on Yvette.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a special player, the teams focus on it. You can't keep them hidden forever. Teams do know that Yvette is typically our goal scorer. But we do have other firepower. It's just, I think, a matter of the team, those players kind of stepping up and knowing that they're capable, having the belief in themselves that they are able to also produce goals. And I think Miller's starting to come around and taking a few more chances, the half chances. Rachel Keeley came in the other day and really was a little bit more aggressive. And I think it starts from our back line pushing up and staying connected with our midfield and pushing our midfield on and really getting into the flow of the game a little bit more on the attacking side.
Well, I want to take the attention off of the players for a moment and turn it to you and your staff. Now tell us about your staff and how their coaching responsibilities are divided.
I'd say it's pretty much a team effort, just like it is with the girls. Sam helps all the game day prep, make sure everything is set out, and Elliot, our manager, does a great job of filming the games. And in terms of our responsibilities, we're all kind of in charge of recruiting, because it's a huge piece of what keeps us successful, and what's going to make us successful is constantly being on the road recruiting and making sure that we're keeping the top talent in town here, and going out and getting the best talent from around the country.
You go back on the road to face Central Arkansas and Oral Roberts next. Any dramatic changes being made for this slate of games? Anything strategically you need to change?
I don't think so. I think we have all the tools that we need to win the games. For a first-year program, we might not be getting the results, but we're playing very, very well, and I think we're playing ahead of what even I expected. And the fact that we're in the games, and I think more than that, we're in the games, we have the ability to win the games. So going in, it's another tough decision. Tuesday's practice will decide who is the top 18 that are traveling, which is really unfortunate, because we do need the numbers. Traveling, if we bringing more kids is always nicer to have, and just to have the whole support of the team there makes a difference. But the 18 that travel, I think, will represent us well.
Coach, good luck on the road. Keep fighting hard.
Thank you very much.
Shana Caldwell, head coach of Islander women's soccer, joining us here in the locker room on Islanders Insider. When we come back, we'll tell you what's next for Islanders athletics. Stay with us. More to come here on Islanders Insider.
It's a pivotal year in Islanders basketball. Our teams have spent the summer training, preparing, and working on the foundation for the coming year. We are going to play with intensity, determination, and passion. We're ready to make a statement in the Southland Conference. Join us on our journey to the tournament. Islanders basketball season tickets are on sale now. Visit GoIslanders.com or call 825-BALL to purchase your tickets today.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. We wrap things up today. Let's bring you up to speed on what's up next for Islanders athletics. Thursday, September 26th, Islanders volleyball heads to Sam Houston State in Huntsville for a 7 o'clock start time in Southland Conference play. Then Saturday the 28th, they'll head to Beaumont to take on the Lady Cardinals of Lamar at 1 o'clock. Thursday, October 3rd, Islanders volleyball hosts the University of the Incarnate Word at the Dugan Wellness Center. It's blue washout night, so be sure to wear your blue. Start time, 7 o'clock. And then on Saturday, October 5th, Islanders volleyball hosts Abilene Christian at the Dugan Wellness Center. It's family weekend and Teacher Appreciation Day. 1 o'clock start at the Dugan. Friday, September 27th, Islanders soccer will head to Conway, Arkansas to take on Central Arkansas. 4 o'clock start time. Then on September 29th, Sunday, Islanders soccer will head to Tulsa, Oklahoma to face Oral Roberts at 1 o'clock. They'll return to the Dugan family track and soccer stadium on Friday, October 4th as they host McNeese State at 3:30. And on Friday, September 27th, Islanders cross country will host the Islanders Splash. The college race will begin at Westgouth Park at 6 p.m. Once again, we want to thank Tony Graystone, head coach of Islanders volleyball, along with head coach Shana Caldwell of Islanders soccer, for joining us here today in the locker room. Also thanks to Dixie Lee for bringing us the profile on Islanders assistant, Sara Pauly. I'm Stephen King. Thank you once again for joining us here in the locker room. You've been watching Islanders Insider.